going to talk about a few little extra supplies that you can have for watercolor that can make some wonderful textures with using several different things that I'm showing you to carry in your supply list. First one is tape. Having tape, we can use this as a mask to put down to save your whites. So tape is wonderful. Again, I would always stay with the white tape or the cream color tape because it doesn't play with your eye when you're mixing color, but just plain old good masking tape. Salt. Salt is probably one of the #1 texture used out there for watercolor. And salt, as you know, comes in all different sizes. Doesn't matter what size you use. We have our table salt, we have our sea salt, we have culture salt, we have margarita salt, we have salt to make ice cream, the really, really big salt. So whatever size you want, and you can actually experiment with different sizes. Put your salt in some type of container that seals up so it won't get all over your supplies. But salt is a wonderful little extra supply to carry in your bag. The next little extra supply that I recommend is nice to have is sponges. They come in all different shapes and sizes. You can get them at the art supply store. They usually come in bags with 5-6 sponges in it. When you look at the bag, make sure that you have a variety of sponge textures. You don't want them all smooth because each different texture gives you a wonderful texture when you're painting. I'll later show you how to use these to make trees in abstracts and all the different textures that a sponge can do. So just great to carry, have a few of those. And you can also use the sponge under your sink. Grab that out. As long as it's a clean sponge, it's called cellulose sponge, those you can cut into different shapes and that works fine too. But these natural sponges I think are a little bit superior because they have a more fun texture in them. Another supply is toothbrush. Get another toothbrush. Donate your old toothbrush to your art supplies. Yes, toothbrush is great for spattering. And I will show you how to use a toothbrush for many different effects that you can get for textures. If you're doing a robin's egg or you're doing a banana and you want to know how to get those little dots on it, toothbrush is your friend. So it's a great option to have as a tool. The other one is a palette knife. Palette knives are great. They come in different sizes. I recommend getting one they'll last forever. Any Italian palette knife. They come in different sizes with different heads and they come long and short. I kind of do in between size. They will often, like brushes, have the size right on the handle and they're great for scraping, doing rocks, texture, old fences. I use palette knives a lot in painting. Another great thing to carry is candles, white candles. You can carry different color candles, but white has a nice resist that you can put foam up against the rocks. You can do in abstracts. You can use these for many different resist areas on your watercolor. So I will buy one white long candle and break it up and it will last you a long time. If any of you guys were oil or acrylic painters, keep some of your other brushes, or someone donates them, or you find them at a garage sale or something, pick up a few of these brushes. It has, watercolor brushes have short handles, oil and acrylic have long handles, but it's fun to have some of these brushes because they're very rough and you can get a wonderful texture with scrubbing and doing grass. Okay, another one is X-Acto blade. When you're X-Acto blade, box cutter, you can use this for actually ripping. It's a little scary, but yes, you actually rip some little highlights in your water. It's used for a texture. One time I did some old boots and I used this and got the stitching in an X-Acto blade. Do be careful though, if you do carry these, make sure that you always keep the blade down and you secure it so you don't cut yourself. It can be very dangerous. Great tool. Another tool that a lot of people use is masking fluid. When I first started out, I used Winsor & Newton, great brand as well. Make sure though, if you buy masking fluid, you do not get permanent masking fluid. That means it doesn't come off. The purpose we use masking fluid is to save our whites. So we will paint it down and let it dry, and then we paint over it. And once the paint is dry, then we can rub off the masking fluid, and it has saved our white areas. I also use PBO. It's another great brand. It is grayish green color, and you can see it. The Winsor Newton is a white color, so some people sometimes like the one that you can see a little bit better, but they're both great. You do not want to shake your masking fluid when you use it, because then you get bubbles and you will not get a nice solid mask when you put it down. You want it to be no bubbles in that. So PBO is a great brand as well. I'll talk more about masking fluid, but it's a great little addition to your supply list. Thank you very much. Wanted to tell you all of those different supplies that you can carry, different options for watercolor.